Well, welcome back. How have you
Hello.
been since we've seen you last?
I've been good. Yeah, just training a lot, enjoying life.
How do you enjoy life? Because that's a different answer for everybody. And what makes you happy? What keeps you happy during those off times?
Yeah, my relationship with God, that's I've been really diving deep into my scriptures and it's hard sometimes, but just making a lot of life changes and doing the hard things is hard and it can be not super enjoyable all the times, but when you make those changes and you see how it affects your life and how it blesses you, it gives you joy that's like everlasting.
I know that going through struggles is all part of being a Christian. Is learning
Yeah.
how to praise God in those moments. Are those losses something that you're able to kind of make and turn into something positive for yourself?
Oh, 100%. I truly believe that, yeah, everything happens for a reason. I know it's cliche, but um, those type of things, I just submit to the will of God because, even there's certain things that I can do better and certain things that are in my control that I drop the ball on sometimes. And then there's certain times where, a door closes and you think that you think it's like the end of the world, but you realize, God's protecting you because what's on the other side of that door is going to hurt you. So I just trust in all of my journey and my plan or God's plan to direct me in the safest route and in the way that is going to set me up for life in general. Wins and losses. Obviously, we want to win. I'm very competitive. I'm really looking for a win this Saturday. But yeah, I just trust.
Can you just talk to me a little bit about how this fight was made? When did you get the call? Did you ask for this fight? Were you called and proposed the fight? Just talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So after the Manon fight, I had to heal my pinky, and that happened. But as soon as the fight was over, I was like, man, I was so close. I felt like I could have won that fight if I just, if there wasn't just a little bit different here and there, and whatever, shoulda, coulda, woulda, stuff like that. But I just had that taste of like, man, like usually I get down on myself after a loss, but it just motivated me so much more. So I was like, I knew after that fight I wanted to get right back in there, but I had to heal my pinky, had some other, like personal stuff I had to figure out, and then it took me a little bit to kind of get those things in order. But as soon as I was like ready, I was looking for a fight, and yeah, and then I got offered a little bit earlier for this fight, but I wasn't 100% ready, just with some personal stuff. And then I got offered in March 23rd, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
What were your thoughts when you heard the name?
Amanda Ribas, just excitement because of how she fights, her energy, her skills, the fact that she's, in the top 10, because for some reason I'm not ranked or whatever, even though I'm like pound for pound ranked. So it's super strange, but I'm like, okay, I never really paid attention to rankings, but now I'm like, yeah, it'd be nice to be ranked. So all of those things combined, I was just very excited to hear that name. But I was ready for anybody. I really didn't care who popped up.
What are you expecting from her? I know everybody says that they train for the 5 rounds, but do you actually expect to have to go the 5 rounds with her?
I know she's very tough. I know that she's not a quitter. She's losing the fight, she's still looking for a way to win or something. So I know that I have to be prepared for that. I know I have to be prepared for 5 rounds regardless, but especially with her. But the thing is, I have a lot of 5 round experience, so I don't know. I know how to prepare for that, and it makes me feel better that I have that time to do whatever it is that I got to do. But yeah, as soon as I get that opportunity to finish, I'm finishing.
And looking ahead at this year, I know you don't want to look past your opponent, but do you have some goals that you've set for yourself this year?
Um, yeah, yeah, becoming two-division champion this year would be awesome, But I know that's a very steep mountain to climb, and I know I have had some setbacks. So, I got to be realistic, but I do believe that that's very realistic, and anything's, God willing, that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, I just got to take care of business this weekend, and yeah, that's what we'll do.
Thank you.
Hey, Rose.
Yeah.
Um, I do want to ask, fighting the Apex. I think when we all saw your name fighting the Apex, we're like, whoa, Rose doesn't fight. She fights in front of crowds, arenas. I guess, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, the Apex it sort of resembles like the Ultimate Fighter feeling, just like new and improved, obviously, and more modernized. But yeah, so I have experience with fighting in a quiet, location. But obviously, I've grown accustomed to fighting in big crowds, and even though I used to hate it, I kind of grew to like it, and it's why we do what we do. But yeah, but I'm all willing to just let's fight in the gym, let's fight wherever in the backyard, it don't matter. Yeah.
Second fight at flyweight. How's your body feeling?
Yeah, my body's feeling great. I definitely I put on more muscle for this fight. I'm around the same size as I was last time, but I'm just more filled in and more dense. And so yeah, muscles are recovering. It definitely was a very intense training camp. But yeah, injury free and healthy and immune system super strong. I think some of those weight cuts before kind of taxed my immune system a little bit sometimes. So I'm very thankful for the health.
When you said you wanted to be double champ a little bit earlier, does that mean go up to bantamweight, or does that mean go back down to strawweight? Or
Oh no, well because I mean shoot, I guess if double champ means to hold it at the same time, I'm just trying to be 2 division champion. I don't know about holding it. that's like all in another universe, but to even think about, obviously just the thought of doing this is exciting enough as it is, but I mean, I guess, anything's possible.
so, is it safe to say your days at strawweight are done?
I just think like health-wise, like to me, it's just not a healthy thing to do for me at this point. I don't know, I know that I could keep pushing through it. Like my mind got a lot stronger with cutting the weight, but I could tell my body was definitely not liking that as much. I could tell from like my last strawweight cut, my eyes were like sunken in, and that's like just kind of hard to see myself like that. And then yeah, so even though like the will gets stronger, the flesh gets weaker, and so to me it's like I'm all about health and wellness, even though we're about to go and fight, but I want to preserve as much as possible.
Was it a tough decision to ultimately come to that decision, because you have 2 wins over the current champion, right? So
no, not at all, because 2 wins is 2 wins. And so, that's I have that, if she moves up to flyweight, then that'd be great. I'll fight her a 3rd time. But to me, it's like, it's just, I'm very happy for her. I hope she holds the belt for a long time. And I think it's just a testament to, both of our skills. And yeah, but I wish all the best for her. And yeah.
And finally, I just wanted to ask about next week. There's a big #1 contender fight in your division. I just wanted to know who you think is going to win between Aaron and Manon.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Aaron. I wouldn't be surprised if Manon finds a way to win. She's very good, but and she's a very interesting matchup for Aaron. But I just feel like the pace that Aaron puts out, she's very impressed me with that, and her tenacity, and she also really knows how to find ways to win. And I just think with our fight with Manon, I felt like she was kind of fading away at the end. And I think Aaron is just going to keep growing and I believe it's 5 rounds. So, she'll probably account for that, but I'm leaning towards Aaron in this one.
Cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the move up, how you feel better in camp, you're healing better. Does that in turn make fight weeks and just fighting in general funner because you're feeling maybe stronger and healthier in general,
Yeah.
maybe not as much of a struggle?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely, yeah. It sometimes the weight cut, when it is a tough weight cut, it's kind of a distraction from the fight itself, because it's like, oh, this is the fight before the fight, and whatever. But you're right. It's a lot more enjoyable to eat food and to, just not fixated on it so much. But yeah, I think overall, I just feel more confident in being able to take head strikes. You know what I mean? Like if need be, obviously my defense gonna be on point. Yeah. But if something happens, it's like I know my brain's not as dehydrated, so I feel like that contributes to a lot of brain damage when you're dehydrating your brain and then getting punched.
And on the flip side, do you feel stronger? Do you think your strikes feel more powerful at this weight as well?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I feel more confidence in throwing harder too. Like I don't know if it's, yeah, I would say I've been throwing a lot harder punches now.
And if you could, both of you have great ground games. Everybody knows that you're great at jiu-jitsu, and the fights, when it gets to the ground, it's always going to be exciting. Kind of rate her ground game, her jiu-jitsu, and how she does, and maybe her overall ground and pound.
Yeah, she has really, a good, well, she has good judo too, she has a good judo throw. She's got a good like body lock takedown as well. And she likes to have a good top pressure. Sometimes if she's getting taken down, she throws up, a quick armbar or something like that, off the takedown. So I'm watching out for all of those things, and I'm prepared for all of those things. But definitely her top pressure and her, ability to just hold somebody down and kind of grind it out and take their will from them. That's something that I've also taken into account, and I'm definitely prepared for that. So I'm very impressed with her, but I also really believe in my abilities and in my ability to combat all that.
And you mentioned the experience. I mean, you've been in main events. You've had big title fights. This, I believe, is her first main event, and you talked about the experience. How much will that play into her mind, do you think, going into this fight week?
Yeah, we were just talking about that, like I believe, I don't know her personally, but I kind of have an idea of what it's like to be in a main event for the first time, to fight 5 rounds for the first time. And that was a long time ago for me, a long time ago. And I knew how much pressure it was, and I knew, and even if like she might not think she's feeling it, I do also know that, we also tell ourselves things sometimes, and but our bodies are feeling a different way, just like I was saying with the weight cuts and stuff, and so, I think that she's, I don't know. We'll see how she handles it, but to me, I know how it feels, and it ain't easy.
And like you said, the body's feeling good. You could probably fight more times, but what's still the target? What's the perfect number of fights for you a year? Is it 2 fights? Is it 3 fights if all the fights end sort of early? Or it seems like you've kind of settled into maybe 2 fights a year sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is that the key ideal number for you?
I always wanted to fight more times in a year, but just life happens, and not only that, but just being in such big fights, like the title fights, for some reason, being in a title fight to me always feels like a double fight. Like it's like double the amount of energy that goes into that fight. And so that, along with, outside life things happening, that time just passes by so quickly. So, so I wish I could fight like 3-4 times a year, but because I know this is a short-lived sport, and I know time goes on. I'm 31, I only have so much time left to do what it is that I want to do. So, but yeah, two times a year seems pretty average for me, and if we can do 3, that'd be awesome.
And last for me, I know obviously the goal you'd want the title is one of those things. But when you go in there and you sign the line to get on the fight, is it just about going out and enjoying that process, each fight, and just trying to have a good outcome from that fight, or is it about trying to get to that title shot? Is that the main goal, or is it just taking fight by fight to enjoy each fight as its own?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Like when I foresee, every year I kind of make yearly goals for myself, and I write them down, and but I don't think about those yearly goals every day. It's more, but I break those goals down into micro goals, and then, okay, what am I doing this week? What am I doing today? And it's just kind of like you just take each step and you build momentum and you build confidence each time you achieve those goals, and then all of a sudden you look back at the year and you're like, man, I accomplished all my goals, or almost all of them, and so that's how I do it.